What is going on, guys? It is DigiWatch TCG coming to you with another deck profile. Now today we're going to be going over my second favorite deck out of BT11, which is going to be the Ulforce Digimon deck. But you may be looking at this deck or the screen right here and saying, hey, there's a couple of Gabumons and Leomons in here. What's going on? Well, this is actually my version of the deck. This is not a pure version. This is the Bond of Friendship version. And so we're going to go over this list today and talk about the advantages of playing it and I guess we'll talk about the cards as well. I will talk about each card individually as well, and my choices. Of course, this is not a final list. This is more of a theory right now. Once I do have the cards in hand, I will give you a proper deck list as well as a small combo video to show you how this deck works. It is a little bit confusing about how the full combo works out, and so I will talk about it at the end. So with that said, please like, subscribe, leave your thoughts below, and let's get into it. Starting with the eggs, we have 4 copies of Wanyamon. Now this is the new BT11 egg of choice. This is one attacking, once returned. If you have a blue tamer in play, draw 1. Now because we play so many blue tamers, it's very easily all these tamers are very easily able to be in your hand on the first turn, so you should be able to play this out pretty easily and before passing turn. Or even if you're going second, that's actually pretty good because then you can Digivolve this up to your rookie or rookie or champion, and then play a Tamer as well. So going into our rookie lineup, we're starting with Vmon. This card, now, one thing I will mention about most of my rookies are they work whether you on-play them or you Digivolve them in Raising. Earlier game, you probably want to play the Vmon first because this is a revealed 3 cards from the top of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card with Digimon in its name and 1 blue tamer among them to your hand. Place the remaining to the bottom. So this is good because it gets the cards to your hand, it gets your pieces that you need, so that you can get to your Ulforce Digimon a little bit quicker. Late game, it's good because you can Digivolve this in Raising, and basically when you play a blue tamer, you can gain 1 memory, which in this game is this deck is very easy to do. Then we have the Gabumon Gabumon, where BT6, which is the Bond of Friendship version. When you play this Tamer with Matashita in its name, gain 1 memory. Again, this is very good late game when you unplay it because then you can play Matt from the effect of Ulforce, and you basically just gain a free memory, and additionally it sets you up for even further plays down the line. Again, it has an inherited of 1 attacking once returned. If this Digimon is Gabumon Bond of Friendship, you may unsuspend it. So it basically allows the Gabumon Bond of Friendship, which we'll showcase later, an extra attack. Then, of course, Gabumon is good. This is a very good starter as well if you do draw in an opening hand, because on reveal the top 3 of your deck, add 1 Tamer card or 1 Digimon with Gabumon in its name among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So this is really good because you get basically a Gabumon, basically a Bond of Friendship or another rookie or any of your Tamers to your hand when you make a declaration of attack, which then you can combo with Rina and Ulforce Digimon's effects, which we'll get into a little bit later. Digimon here is our starter of our champion lineup here, and when you play a Tamer, blue Tamer, you draw 1, and then it has the same effect as the Vmon, where when you play a blue Tamer, you gain 1 memory. So if you have this one, the Digimon and the Vmon in the same stack, you'll basically gain 2 memory every time you play a Tamer, which on top end is very easy to do. Then in terms of our other champions, we have Lobomon. This is a blue Digimon where it can Digivolve on top of a Tamer. A lot of people know of this card, but basically you could throw any hybrid except maybe Kurakakumon on top of it, because you can basically Digivolve on any of your blue Tamers, and because you have so many of them, you can just hybrid for game, or if there's a strategy your opponent is putting out, like maybe the Black or Greymon or maybe an Examon kind of thing that's going on, you can always promote out with Lobomon and attack your opponent with Lobomon, because like Black or Greymon only redirects the strongest DP. So that is just something to keep in mind. Then we're playing 4 Leomons. We play Leomon in this deck because we play Jerry in this deck, and Jerry can play out Leomon for free. And the way I always like to talk about these cards are that you gain value from Tamers that can play out Digimon, and the fact that you can play Jerry for free sometimes will be, and Jerry can play Leomon for free, is really, really good. And it's like basically saying I get to play an additional 10 memory for free, pretty much, or 10 cost, and like 10 value points, whatever you want to call it. So we are playing that, and of course they're really good for like being able to swing into your opponent or block depending on what you're trying to do. You know, you may have something in raising and you need extra memory, and you attack your opponent, and Leomon dies, and you get into memory, and you draw one card, and that can be a life and death situation. So it is important to have this card in the deck, and I believe. Then for our ultimates, we have Arrow Digimon. This is the one from BT11. This one is a 4 of definitely, because by suspending this Digimon, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add all blue Tamers to your hand. Now, why is this important? Because you want the Ulforce that you're going to be Digivolving into to come in actually suspended, because it will be gaining the effect of unsuspending. So that is something to keep in mind. And then, of course, when attacking, you can activate one of your Rina Mia's on play effects, which basically can give your Digimon evade and blocker. So that is something to keep in mind. Okay, so that is a 4 of, and then this is kind of where the experimental cards go in. Arrow Digimon is a pretty decent Digimon to try out in this deck. It's BT2. When Digivolving, if you have a blue Tamer in play, unsuspend one of your blue Digimon, including itself, by the way. So something I could think about is like you promote with Lobomon. Maybe they have something out there, a rookie that you want to get rid of, and you attack over it with Lobomon. And then you Digivolve into this and give this target itself, unsuspend itself, and then attack again, or Digivolve it into Ulforce, whatever you want to do. So it is something that is actually pretty cool to consider as a tech option. Additionally, when one of your Digimon becomes unsuspended as inherited, during the main phase, it gains jamming, which is good because our Ulforce only has 12,000 DP, and there are still Digimon in this game that are higher than that. So it's important to kind of think about other routes rather than the normal route that you would take to play this deck. Then we have, of course, Arrow Digimon that has jamming, and if you have 8 or more cards in your hand, you can it gets security +1. Easily, this deck can get you 8 pretty much in the second or third turn, so you'll have a lot of cards in hand. And additionally, security +1 is very, very good in this deck, especially if it has jamming or anything like that in it. So just something to keep in mind. You can attack multiple times if this is in the same stack, so just something to keep in mind. Alright, so we talked about those cards. Now let's get into our megas. Now we have pretty much 6 megas. We have Ulforce Digimon, and if you don't know, this card is one Digivolving. You can play one blue Tamer from your hand without paying its memory cost, and then when you play a blue Tamer, unsuspend this Digimon. So that's why I was saying that your ultimate lineup, you actually want the Ulforce to become come in unsuspended in suspended mode, so that you can play a Tamer and gain the value of playing a Tamer and unsuspending it, and then it gaining the third effect here, which is once per turn, when this Digimon becomes unsuspended, return one of your opponent's level 3 or lower Digimon to the hand, and then you can increase that level by 1 for every blue Tamer you have in play. So if you have at least 3 other Tamers in play, that means that you can bounce a level 6. If you have 4, you can bounce a 7, which is actually pretty cool. We are playing 2 copies of Hammer Spark. Yeah, I don't know why these are out of order on the thing here, but we are playing 2 Hammer Spark and 1 Ice Wall down here, which basically are mandatory in this. You do need the Hammer Spark, I think, to sometimes gain you additional memory that can allow you to do multiple plays, and Ice Wall is kind of your last-minute defensive option. I would never really play Ice Wall unless I'm very in danger of losing and they have multiple Digimon on the field. Now we're going to get into the Tamer lineup, which is actually pretty interesting. So we have the Rina here. This is the new Rina. This is the one that actually, if you go on TCG, is probably about $130. Don't buy it now. Wait till you get a few boxes and see what you pull. On play, one of your Digimon get with Vmon or Digimon in its name gains blocker and evade until the end of your opponent's turn. So that is a really good effect, and of course, because your on play effect here occurs when Ulforce Digimon is on the field, because it can play Rina for free, you can give Ulforce Digimon blocker and evade, which is making this a 12,000 blocker, by the way, which is pretty cool. And then once when one of your Digimon with Digimon in its name becomes suspended, by suspend its Tamer, activate one of the Digimon's 1 Digivolving effects. And then your turn, when one of your Digimon unsuspends, gain 1 memory. So what the combo kind of is here is that you would Digivolve into Ulforce in a suspended state, All Force will unsuspend when Digivolve effect will trigger. Play your Rena to field. Rena will because you played a Tamer, All Force will trigger its second effect of unsuspending itself. Because it unsuspends itself, then actually nothing happens right. Oh yeah, you gain a memory. Sorry, you gain a memory right there. So it may keep it your turn. Then you declare an attack with All Force Digimon. Because your Digimon becomes suspended, you suspend this Tamer to activate the All Force effect of playing another Tamer, which you know what you want to play as another Rena if you're attacking multiple times. So then you can do the whole thing over again. Basically, that is pretty much the whole combo of the deck here, with all Rena and All Force working together as a team, which is kind of in terms of its lore is pretty on point. Then we have two Davises here. Davis is your memory tamer. We all kind of know what Davis is. It searches for a blue and a green, but we're pretty much playing blue in this deck. So, unless you want to choose a couple dual colors, maybe blue-green cards and throwing in the deck, Davis is a pretty good memory tamer in my opinion. We have two Manishitas. If you don't know what this card does, basically if you have a Gabumon or Garurumon that moves from raising to your main zone, your battle area, then you gain one memory and draw one. So that's very good right off the bat. And additionally, you can Digivolve your Gabumon into a Gabumon Bond of Friendship in your hand for its Digivolution cost, ignoring the level. If you do, trash the top two cards of your security stack. Then if you have one or more security cards, delete that Digimon at the end of the turn. So I think that is actually pretty good in this deck because it does allow you a bunch of ways of doing multiple attacks to your opponent's security. And basically, what you would want to do is end with All Force in a unsuspended state, and then Digivolve it into Gabumon Bond of Friendship, and then Gabumon Bond of Friendship will attack, and then it can unsuspend itself. Gabumon gives it the additional ability to unsuspend itself. I think so. That's 3 attacks you'll have additionally with Gabumon Bond of Friendship at 14,000 DP. So it's just something to keep in mind, and it is a playstyle that I think is really effective. It also sends cards back to the bottom of your opponent's deck, level 5 or lower. So that is also very important. Now, I think that Bond of Friendship will be good for just a few formats because once we get BT13 and all the Royal Knights, those are not level 5s. But anyway, let's go into the rest of the cards. So then we have Jerry. As I mentioned before, Jerry plays one Leomon from your hand, and then when your opponent attacks, you can suspend this Tamer to draw 1, which gets you maybe extra pieces that you may need. And then we have our last Tamer being Tai Kamiya. This is the V-Tamer. That was the promo card. And if you have a Digimon with Vigimon in its name, you can suspend this Tamer to activate one of the following effects: trigger draw 1 or give it 1000 DP for the turn. So something also to mention though is you don't need to target, I don't think it is, if you have a main Digimon in play, you may suspend this Tamer to activate one effect, trigger draw 1, one of your Digimon gets 1000. So the 1000 can actually be any Digimon. You just need something with Vigimon in its name on the field, so it doesn't necessarily need to be the card that the All Force. You could have like if you maybe on another stack or something, you have an Arrow Vigimon or just the Vigimon here. It doesn't matter. It will trigger, and it's a 2 cost, which is important because turn 1, if you draw this card and you play it, you stick your opponent at 2. And I think that's important in this deck. Now, there are some cards you may want to consider, like more defensive cards, or like I mentioned, if you run more of a green package, you can kind of throw in some green cards in here, dual color blue-green. I think that's pretty much the Leomon line to maximize the effect of Davis, or you could throw in more Hammer Sparks or whatnot. But the point, or even more hybrids actually. You can up this by 1 if you want to do, and like reduce that by 1 and just make it 3 and 3, or you can just keep it as it is. So that's my deck profile for you today. What do you guys think? Do you think that you're going to be trying out the All Force Vigimon deck? I am. I know that. I'm really excited for this deck personally. And that's my theory build right now. I definitely will be changing some things as we get more cards and actually give you a live, more of a live deck profile. But with that said, please like, subscribe, leave your thoughts, and stay classy, guys.